Hi, welcome back to another episode of the Do-It-Yourself Acrylic Painting at Home. I'm your host, Ann Abel. I'm also the artist behind the BlueEyedArtist.com and the resident teacher at the Painting Vine down in Destin, Florida. Today's painting, I'm working off a little bit smaller canvas than I normally do. Normally I use a 16 by 20 stretched canvas on the back. This one is more a 12 by 16. But it doesn't matter. You can use any canvas size that you want to recreate this picture. So before we get started, let's go over our supplies. Stretched canvas or canvas board, anything that is primed for acrylic or oil painting. Today we're using acrylic paints. I'm going to be working off the primary colors, blue, red, yellow, and I'm also going to include some white. When it comes to color choices, there are so many different colors you can buy, but you really don't need all of them as long as you learn how to mix your colors. Now, warm red and cool red are going to have a huge difference, the same with warm blue and cool blue. So for my color spectrum, I try to stay with the truest color that there is. Often I find cool blue gets more of the purples and teals that I like better than warm blue. But it's always a trade-off. You can always try and mix them and find out and experiment for yourself. So let's go ahead and get started with today's picture. As always, I'm going to start with my background, and today's picture is a sunset beach with some palm trees. So I've got my color palettes ready and my paintbrushes ready. So I'm going to start with my sky. I'm going to grab some of my blue and some white. Now, when it comes to sunsets, I actually paint the sky on first, and then I come back for the sunset once the blue's dry. Because otherwise, once you mix yellow with blue, you end up with green. And green is just like infects the entire picture. Now I'm using a real deep blue. I'm using my cobalt almost straight on. Maybe it's just a hint of white in it because I want that sunset to have that deep. We're about to emerge into night. Now, as I get close to my water, I'll probably add a little white in there, but not much. I really just want this to be a really deep, romantic picture. If you like these tutorials, please definitely subscribe to our channel, as new ones will be published weekly. If there is a picture or theme that you would like me to teach, please go ahead and comment below, or you can email me at ann@thepaintingvine.com. I will try to accommodate as many requests as possible. Okay, so we've got our sky on. Now I'm going to go ahead and start blocking in the water. The water in Destin, Florida, we're pretty lucky. We have really beautiful water. It's like a teal green. Sometimes it's a little murkier than other ones, but it's usually really gorgeous. So for that, I'm going to grab some white, some cobalt blue, and some yellow. Usually more blue than yellow. But until I get a pretty teal that I like. Ooh, I like that. That's pretty. I'm going to start applying it the same way. The teal in the water also helps to differentiate the sky from the water. Now we're going to throw a sunset on here, so that will help, but keep blending in those edges so it's seamless. If you've never visited Destin, Florida, I highly suggest you do so. then definitely come and see me. Take one of our in-person classes. There we go. Kind of streaking in some of that cobalt blue. Give it some differentiation through that water. I like that. That to me, my friends, is pretty. They have the option of either bringing the water all the way down to the canvas or leaving some room for some beach. I think I'm going to leave some room for some beach. I like that. This white right here is a little too strong. I'm going to murk it up a little bit. There we go. A little more teal. Don't be afraid to apply your color straight to the canvas. You can always add white and it will adjust. There we go. Got a little red in there. Oops. It's pretty. Okay. So now I've got my sky, my water, and now I'm going to apply my beach. I'm going to switch out to a clean brush. It's just another square brush. Now at Destin, we have these white sand beaches. So instead of using perfect white, titanium white to draw on the beach, I actually mixed it with some raw sienna, and it gets about it gives a good impression of it. So I'll grab a little bit of that and apply it to the bottom of my canvas. Now here, if you get blue on here, it's going to streak it through your beach. But just keep applying white. It might take a couple layers, but you'll get it. I do it all the time. I think I have some in this painting, actually. Grab some more white. Fling it everywhere. If you're a messy painter like me, you're probably flinging paint left and right. There we go. That's a nice color. Okay. So now our background isn't quite perfectly dry, but I'm going to go ahead and start with it. Usually I would let that sky dry first before I start attempting the sunset, just because those colors mix and that green just sits there. So I'm going to start with red right in the middle and start kind of blending that out, because that will give a nice soft purple. And a little bit goes a long way. Now, if you would ever like to purchase one of these demo paintings, you can do so at my website, theblueeyed-artist.com. Now I'm going to add some yellow. See how that green that goes in there? I'm probably going to have to wait for that. I'm going to rinse off my brush, see if I can reattempt it. It just went back to blue. Add some white and red on top of that again. The great thing is about acrylic is that it's completely layerable. Just keep adding layers to it and it will also keep working it. I like how that top ended out. I'm going to streak some white through here just a little bit. I don't want the seas to be completely calm. I want them to have a little bit of a wave to them. Waves are usually the hardest thing to paint because people want to build them up way more than what they are. And it can be difficult to get the right brush stroke. But if you just play with it, you'll get it. I'm just kind of streaking a little bit of white through there. So there's a little bit of an impression that there's some waves slowly, gradually going there. Now, on my beach, I want that wave to be a little more pronounced. So I'm grabbing a little white and streaking it through there. And then I'm going to grab blue. And I just make sure my beach water isn't a perfect line all the way across. I like to have white on one side of my brush and blue on the other. And it kind of just gives that foam. Look to it. There we go. I like that. Looks good. Okay. Now if you have a hair dryer at home, you could hit this with a hair dryer and it would dry really, really fast. But we're going to go ahead and start on our palm trees. For this, I'm actually going to make like a deep purple. You could use black, but I'm going to actually use purple. I want my palm trees to come hanging down. So I always have got to work with some sort of stem or some point of reference to go off of. So they're going to come down like this and go across like this. It's that working with what was creative first kind of theory. It's always worked for me, so I'm going to stick with it. And then we've got our stem. So for ladies, this is a lot like putting on your mascara. You want to make sure that your brush stroke from the stem is going out, not concaved like a C. You're not making C's. You're going out, almost like on the letter D. After you've got your straight line, you're going out like a D. And I always go whoop, 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 whoop. It's really light brush strokes. Again, I'm just using blue and red to make up purple. You have to go out on either side of the stem. Sometimes you'll cover up your other stems, and that's okay. I still just build off of them. I'm actually going to switch out to a smaller brush, see if I can get some more definition in here. There we go. Stiffer brushes seem to work better for this. Otherwise they just get too wide. You want them real defined. If I add too much red, then I'll just go back and add some blue right on top of it, because red and blue make purple. see them. Plus, I find that like when white is added to the paint, it just goes on smoother. I don't know why. I just roll with it. I say that is why. Just do what the paint gods say. Totally digging this picture right now. It's almost like it's in the Caribbean. And you can totally imagine sitting on the beach, relaxing, watching the sunset. Absolutely no cares in the world whatsoever. I think that's how we all want to live. I do, but I'm going to fatten up this stem over here. Because palm trees certainly aren't on sticks. Palm trees are incredibly strong. I mean, especially to go through all the hurricanes and storms. They just stay put. It's just amazing how flexible they are. Moving on to my second tree. Now, if you're one of them that doesn't like to work with marked up paint that's all messed up, see, I do. My palette is all messed up. I suggest using a couple different plates. That way you don't go through so much paint. Otherwise, you'll find yourself going through a lot of paint. And acrylic paint goes pretty far. I'm really liking how some of them are turning out more blue and some of them are turning out more red. I just think it gives it the look and more of the feel like the sun is hitting these. More white. That one ended up a little too light, so I'm going to go back over it. And I got too much. I was doing so well. Here we go. Sometimes it takes a couple times going over it to get the look that you want, and that's okay. Just be patient. Not patient, get something to drink. There. There. Now, I want a little bit more yellow back there. So I'm hoping that this is dry enough so that I can add it now. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow and a little white. That's pretty green because my brush is blue. I'm going to grab a new brush. Grab some white and some yellow. There we go. Yeah. What you do here, because that's kind of just a big blob of yellow in there, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of dry brush it through. See what kind of effects I can get without having to use my finger. Without having to take everything off. Because normally we would always be doing the background first. I might just have to go over these again. And that would be okay. Not sure I really like that. Add some red to it again. And I'm just using just a little bit of paint. Trying to mark that up. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over and put my palm trees again back over that, the ones that I took off. There we go. Just get those back in the foreground. There you have it. You've got a gorgeous sunset picture done in just a few minutes. Looks great. And it totally makes you want to take away a vacation to the Caribbean, or of course, Destin, Florida, which looks a lot like the Caribbean. Thank you again so much for joining us with your do-it-yourself acrylic painting tutorials at home. Definitely please subscribe, button below on the YouTube channel. Check my workout at www.theblueeyedartist.com. You can also follow us on Instagram and Pinterest. And of course, if you're ever in Destin, Florida and would like to take a hands-on class with moi, you can do so, and it's at the Painting Vine Wine and Painting Studio located in Destin, Florida. Thank you so much for watching again. Definitely go create and leave us some comments if you love us. Thanks.